Yesterday, I brought my throwback thoughts on Spider-Man 2002. Today, I am offering my thoughts on the sequel, which a lot of people believe to be completely superior. So let's go ahead and get started. Spider-Man 2 was released in 2004, directed by Sam Raimi once again, and once again starring Toby Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and Alfred Molina. And yeah, this kind of is a little bit better than the first one, despite how much love I absolutely have for the first one. I just have to agree this one is a bit better, and we'll get into it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off, first of all, once again, Toby Maguire is absolutely amazing as Spider-Man in this movie. He's, again, got everything down perfectly as the character. He's awkward, he's dorky, he's friendly, and I very much love him as Peter. And again, as Spider-Man, he really does nail the character, and I really enjoy that. I feel like he really does embody Spider-Man perfectly, both Peter and Spider-Man. And it's shown no better than in this movie with the duality of trying to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man at the same time, where both lives affect him personally as Peter and heroically as Spider-Man, where he starts to lose his powers as Spider-Man because of his emotional state as Peter, and he's constantly late to things, emotionally distant with the people he loves as Peter Parker because of the toll the responsibility of being Spider-Man takes on him, and I really love that. Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane in this movie, I feel like she's a bit better in this one than in the first one. Her hair doesn't look as fake in this, even though I never really disliked her hair in the first one. I just feel like it's a little better in this one. And then you got James Franco as Harry Osborn, who, yes, there's a lot of stuff that's come out about James Franco lately, which needs to be addressed. He's not a very good person, but still he does absolutely amazing as Harry Osborn in this movie. And I really love the character development he gets, the whole grudge he has against Spider-Man for the death of his father in the previous movie, which still it's very misguided, but he doesn't know that. And I really love that. And I loved the whole power struggle between him and Peter, the whole building rivalry, the breaking down of their friendship, between Peter kind of causing him and MJ's breakup, along with Peter being Spider-Man's personal photographer. I thought that was a very good struggle between the two. You get Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus in this movie, or Doc Ock if you just want to call him that, Otto Octavius. He's the main villain. I thought he is absolutely amazing in this movie. I mean, look at this. This is an original Doc Ock figure from when the movie was first released. I still have it. I love this figure. In fact, he's gonna go right here for the remainder of this review. No, guess he doesn't want to stand up. Either way, I love Doc Ock in this movie. He brings such a gravity to the role, and Alfred Molina is just such a world-class actor. He is so tragic as this character. He's just this scientist who wants to change the world, but ends up, destroying what he wanted. He accidentally kills his wife, which inadvertently, yes, but it's still by his doing, and he's basically ruined, and I loved that. And his whole thing is he's not just evil for the sake of being evil. He's simply just a tragic scientist just trying to make things right after he messes up. And I really liked that. Rosemary Harris is in this movie as Aunt May again, and she does absolutely amazing. Again, another world-class actress. I love her as Aunt May. Easily the best version of Aunt May we've ever gotten in live action. I really loved her little speech to Peter later on in this movie, before Peter becomes Spider-Man again, about how there's always a hero in everyone.
Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride. Even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most. Even our dreams. Spider-Man did that for Henry, and he wonders where he's gone. He needs him.
And I thought it was an absolutely amazing scene. Very well done, very emotional. I loved it. And again, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. Absolutely amazing. Probably better in this movie than he was in the last movie, mainly because he gets a little more screen time in this one. And again, he's terrific. I love J.K. Simmons as Jameson. Absolute best casting in any comic book movie, period. I absolutely love it.
He was a thief! A criminal! He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city! I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted! I want him strung up by his web! I want Spider-Man!
There is a new supporting character in this movie named Mr. Ditkovich. And despite all the memes, the Rent memes, there's a whole Facebook page dedicated to it called The Nation of Ditkovich. It's a hilarious page. Please go check it out. I find him to be actually one of the best characters in this entire trilogy. He's absolutely hilarious. Even though he was introduced as a joke, I actually really liked the character. But either way, I really liked him. And, well, the story to this movie, it's absolutely amazing. I loved the whole opening sequence with the pizza delivery. You get that memeable as hell quote.
Pizza time.
Yeah, that's an absolutely amazing scene, despite all the memes and the jokes about it. Yeah, it's really great. You establish the whole rivalry between Harry and Peter very early, near the beginning with Peter's birthday party. You get Aunt May in danger of being evicted from her house because she's a little behind on her payments. And you get introduced to Otto Octavius, again, who I already mentioned in this review, Doc Ock. He's not Doc Ock yet. He's more of a mentor towards Peter near the beginning of this movie, where he invites Peter into his house to meet his wife, have dinner with him. It's actually a really good scene if you pay attention to the dialogue. Doc Ock really does give Peter some really good words of encouragement, specifically towards his feelings for MJ. And I really liked that. And once he becomes Doc Ock and his experiment goes haywire, you feel sorry for him because you spent this time with this great guy who is, against his will, basically turned into a monster. And I thought that was an amazing scene, including the hospital scene where the tentacles come to life and take out the doctors in the room. I think it's very Sam Raimi, very Evil Dead 1 and 2 style horror sequence. I really love that sequence. It's one of the best sequences in superhero cinema history, which I will say a lot about in these three movies specifically. I really love all three of these movies. third one we'll get to tomorrow, which I do have some stuff to say about the third one, but we're on the second one right now. I absolutely love the whole bank sequence where Doc Ock is robbing a bank. Peter just so happens to be there. You get a little cameo from Joel McHale, who a lot of people might know from Community, some other stuff like Ted, the movie last year where Kevin James played a convict. I don't remember the name of that movie. I did review it, but I don't remember the name right now. Sorry. I really love that whole scene. He takes Aunt May. They fight in the street, on a building. Aunt May bashes him in the face with an umbrella. It's a hilarious scene. I really love that. I really like the whole, like I said, power struggle between Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's a very well done story. I've seen a lot of people come out recently about how it's not a very good subplot. I disagree. I think it's a very good subplot. And the absolute best scene in this entire movie, the train sequence. You really thought I was going to go without talking about the train sequence in this movie? I'm not going to go without talking about the train sequence. Anyone with a brain will talk about the train sequence. It's easily top 3 superhero movie sequences of all time. You get Doc Ock and Spider-Man duking it out on top of a train, on the side of the train. Doc Ock eventually scurries away, makes the train go out of control. Peter has to stop it. And a lot of people make fun of Peter's face when he stops the train, but how about you try stopping a full-speed, heavy-ass train by yourself and tell me you're not going to be making faces like that. It's an absolutely beautiful scene, and once the train actually stops, the people of New York carry him inside the train, set him down. He doesn't have his mask on, and he looks up and he's worried. He goes, oh no, my whole identity has been exposed. But the people of New York reassure him it's okay. They're not going to tell anyone. And I think it's an absolutely beautiful scene, much like the bridge scene from the first movie. It's just an absolutely beautiful scene of New York banding together to protect Spider-Man, which is again followed up with them doing it again. Doc Ock comes back onto the train, says he's gonna take Spider-Man, and the entire train, they jump in front of him, say, you want him? You gotta go through me. And I think, obviously, Doc Ock goes through them. He's got 4 metal arms. But I thought that was an absolutely amazing sequence, beginning to end, from the fight all the way to that scene. And I really, really loved that scene. And then you get to Doc Ock delivering Spider-Man to Harry Osborn, where he finds out, holy crap, my friend Peter, who has supported me basically my entire life, is Spider-Man, the guy I'm trying to kill. And the conflicted look in Harry's eyes when he finds that out is absolutely amazing, which leads into the final battle at Doc Ock's little abandoned warehouse on the docks. And I thought that was a really good scene. It's a very short for a final battle, but it's still very good. They punch each other a few times. Doc Ock gets electrocuted. And then really they're just sitting there talking about, what it means to be a hero, what it means to be human. And I found that to be a very beautiful scene without having to have a big CGI fight. And you get the scene where Doc Ock gains his humanity back, takes control back over the limbs, and he stands up, which I feel is an absolutely underrated camera shot. He stands up above Peter, and the camera's looking up at him, which is what's usually used as a camera shot for a hero, which establishes Doc Ock is now a hero in this scene. And he goes to take down his own experiment, and he looks back at Peter, and there are no words said in this scene, but just by that look, you can feel Doc Ock thanking Peter for reminding him what it is to be human, to be a hero, and to care about human beings. It's an absolutely beautiful scene. And then you get the scene where he struggles to take it down. He's, trying his best. You get this very beautiful line.
I will not die a monster.
Which, conveyed by Alfred Molina, is absolutely amazing. And obviously he dies, but he dies a hero. He dies saving the city from his own experiment. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, he's so perfect. They gotta bring him back for No Way Home, which I'm very excited for. And you get, after that, the whole wedding sequence. Mary Jane ditches her fiance, who is Jameson's son, at the altar and runs off to be with Peter. Which, fun fact, we get a cameo from the Punisher in this scene. When MJ's running out of the church, you see a man in black turn around and look at her. That was supposed to be the Thomas Jane version of Punisher. It wasn't Thomas Jane, but it was his stunt double from that movie. And I feel like that would have been a very good build-up for a future crossover, but alas, it did not come to be, which kind of disappointing. I'm fine with it though, because we got John Bernthal's Netflix series. Either way, absolutely beautiful ending with Peter going off to save the city again, MJ alone in his apartment. Absolutely beautiful ending, absolutely loved it. Moving on to what I did not like. I don't dislike anything in this movie. Again, like the last movie, I love this entire movie. It's beautiful beginning to end, and that's all I have to say about this whole section. Final thoughts. Spider-Man 2 is an amazing movie. I love it absolutely to death. Amazing scene, and amazing movie. It's amazing, it's heart-wrenching, it's brutal when it needs to be. It's fantastic. I love it so much. Spider-Man 2 is another masterpiece from the Spider-Man franchise and from Sam Raimi, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Spider-Man 2. Let me know what you thought down in the comments about this movie. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you all again tomorrow with my review for Spider-Man 3, leading up eventually to No Way Home next week.